Hello everyone. This afternoon on The Marketplace, shareholders of Amansia Rural Bank in the Ashanti region to receive 20% returns on their investments as the bank's profitability surges following government's conclusion of the domestic debt exchange program.
Deposit and then obtain a lot of income. So it behoves on us to obtain the approval of the Bank of Ghana so that we could return some form of dividend to our shareholders.
Also coming up, grain processors advocate the new Grains Development Authority bill before Parliament should focus more on value addition to boost the economic gains.
We are coming together to make our input heard. Here we are hoping to put together a position paper and present that to the committee that is working on the bill.
Plus, International Business Chamber challenges government to improve the economic conditions of the country to help businesses grow.
Especially when the economy is difficult, as it is, you need to work extra hard to get new contracts and new relationships. So events like this are good to break down.
My name is Daryl Kwao. Details coming up. Thanks for staying with us, everyone. First up, shareholders of Amansia Rural Bank in the Ashanti region are to receive 20% returns on their investments as the bank's profitability surged following government's conclusion of the domestic debt exchange program, DDEP, with the IMF. For the past 3 years, the bank, despite accruing profits, was unable to pay dividend to its shareholders owing to the Bank of Ghana's directive in the implementation of the domestic debt exchange program. But after making significant strides in profits, for 2023, the Amansia Rural Bank is paying approximately 1.8 million cedis in dividends. Emmanuel Bright-Kweku was at the 39th AGM of the bank and filed this report.
The Amansia Rural Bank is one of the few rural banks in the country approved by the Bank of Ghana to pay dividend to its stakeholders after making huge gains. A total dividend of 1,845,944 cedis, representing 5 pesos dividend per share, is expected to be disbursed to a total qualifying shares of over 36 million by November 4, 2024. For the 2023 financial year, the Bank of Ghana has requested banks with the capacity to pay dividend to present their financials for approval. Hamidu Abbas has been a shareholder of the bank for over 2 decades now. The shares, he believes, could turn the fortunes of his family after enjoying years of benefit from saving with the bank.
The last 2 years, NADCA, me shares a top up, me dividend me work. Yankasa me dividend me bida. Me bribia me the top shares account. Say enkanya no me face ebianka yaba AGM enka me ntimi into shares. But we feel some media no na the top
Following the domestic debt exchange program that adversely hits the financial sector, the Amansia Bank managed to make a profit before tax of approximately 11.66 million cedis in 2023. The figure represents an increase of 90.04% compared to the same period the previous year, which recorded nearly 6.14 million cedis. Frederick Chekwache is the Chief Executive Officer of the bank.
Because we knew where we were coming from, because we were also hit by the DDP, so we needed to re-strategize and cut down our costs. And like as I did indicate, the lending to the SME unit was short-termed, and for that matter, we were able to turn the deposit and then obtain a lot of income. So it behoves on us to obtain the approval of the Bank of Ghana so that we could return some form of dividend to our shareholders.
Managing Director of the Apex Rural Bank, Alex Kwesi Ewa, highlights the effective measures adopted by the rural banking sector for a positive trajectory in the coming year.
It's going to help them meaningfully, and we believe that it's also a signal to confidence in the banks, so that many people will be attracted to invest more, so that they will have more capital, and that will ensure the strength, solvency, capital adequacy ratios will increase, and it's a testament of the strength of these financial institutions.
The bank is positive of a strong financial performance for the year 2024 as they work to generate more deposits. For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Pratkweku.
Now, stakeholders in the grains value chain want the new Grains Development Authority bill to focus more on value addition to boost economic gains. Parliament is considering the passage of the bill for the establishment of a public institution that would regulate activities of the sector. Speaking at a consultative dialogue organized by the Parliamentary Network Africa, some grain processors advocated the inclusion of measures that would see the country not only export its grains but process them into finished goods. Here's more.
In 2022, Ghana announced plans to establish a Grains Development Authority with a shared vision of boosting productivity in the sector. The proposed public institution is to help deal with challenges in the sector, including annual food price fluctuations, ineffective and inefficient buffer stock system. This saw the fashioning of a bill for consideration to facilitate the development and regulation of the market for domestically produced grains and legumes, particularly maize and soybean. The Parliamentary Network Africa held a stakeholder dialogue to solicit views as Parliament Select Committee reviews the bill. Cynthia Afijujo is the Senior Programs Manager at the Parliamentary Network Africa.
As part of the processes for a bill to become law, I know that the bill goes into a consideration stage where the views of other stakeholders are taken into consideration. So this forms part of that process where we are gathering the views of all those who will be affected by the process, so to make sure that their views are actually factored in the bill. So we are coming together to make our input heard. Here we are hoping to put together a position paper and present that to the committee that is working on the bill.
Has there been any challenges so far? How have you...
The event brought together stakeholders along the grain sector value chain to deliberate on ways to improve production from the farm gates to the processing hubs. In its current state, the bill, when passed into law, would allow the president to be the sole individual to appoint a head of the authority pursuant to Article 70. But some stakeholders are in objection as they argue successive government and political leaders have failed to uplift Ghana's agricultural space. Yao Ifrifa is the executive secretary of the Soy Value Chain Association of Ghana.
Well, turning to other news, many African countries rely on mineral royalties to support economic development. However, due to weak governance frameworks, the extraction of these mineral resources often lead to devastating effects on the environment, as is the case for galamsey or illegal mining, which has polluted many river bodies in Ghana. But with this Nature Lead project, the United Nations University Institute for Natural Resources in Africa is providing training to some government professionals and stakeholders on the effective management of natural resources. There's more in the following report.
A bird's-eye view showing the ravaging effects of illegal mining on the green cover of the world's leading exporter of gold. But Ghana is not the only African country grappling with the misgovernance of its extractive sector. According to the United Nations University Institute for Natural Resources in Africa, many African countries depend on rent from hydrocarbons and minerals to support their economy, bringing along with it complexities that adversely impact the climate. With its Nature Lead project, These professionals, drawn from across West Africa, are receiving training at Ghana's Foreign Service Institute in a bid to reverse this trend.
So the primary objective of Nature Lead is to furnish stakeholders with hands-on practical instructions that we expect to equip them with tangible resources and a deep understanding of the ways in which efficient natural resource management can facilitate Africa's progress and stir its transition strategies. What sets this course apart is its focus on practical skills and its emphasis on the positive potential of sustainable natural resource management within the African context.
This inaugural program demonstrates the ministry's contribution to tackling urgent global challenges and reflects our vision of creating a hub for knowledge exchange and collaboration.
Experts argue that over $1 trillion economy awaits Africa if it successfully transitions to clean energy to drive sustainable growth.
And in that sense, we can leapfrog technologies in a more effective way. Just to also mention that there's a 1.3 trillion investment opportunity in the Africa's energy sector. When we talk about these issues, we talk in terms of poverty, but there's a huge opportunity also that we can leverage in terms of how we can showcase our vast energy resources so that these become the transformational lever to catalyze industries, especially local industries.
After days of receiving training under the various modules of the Nature Lead project, these government professionals and stakeholders are expected to provide expertise in shaping the natural resources governance frameworks in their respective countries. Lensugas report for Journalists.
Now, the International Business Chamber has advised government to improve the economic conditions of the country to help businesses grow. The chamber is concerned that the current economic environment makes it difficult for the private sector to thrive. Yes, more.
The networking cocktail event for businesses between the Ghana-Belgium Business Club, the Ghana-Netherlands Business and Culture Council, as well as the Ghana-South African Business Chamber, highlighted the need for businesses to stay more focused and resilient in the current economic difficulties. The president of the Ghana-South African Business Chamber, Grant Weber, noted that businesses within the chamber should remain keen on creating a wide business reach.
It focuses us more. It ensures that we work harder for our members. This is really when we make a concerted effort to get our members as active as they can be through the various activities of the chamber. Especially when the economy is difficult, as it is, you need to work extra hard to get new contracts and new relationships. So events like this are good to break down barriers, work together with other business people in the community, and see how you can extend the reach of your business.
The South African High Commissioner to Ghana, Her Excellency Grace Mason, entreated small and medium enterprises to take advantage of the support and opportunities within the chamber to enable growth.
All the businesses, and especially the small, medium enterprises, that they should leverage the opportunity. We are here to support. Our business chambers are here to support, and we are here to use the opportunity to leverage and to network. If you want to go far, you must go together. But if you want to go faster, then you go alone. So we are here to go further. That is why it's collaborating, the essence of bringing to our economies and doing this together with other business chambers as well within Ghana.
The chamber looks forward to more networking opportunities between businesses within Ghana and the international market.
You're watching The Marketplace. We're taking a short break. We'll be right back. welcome back to the marketplace. Time for the exchange. We are putting the focus on the insurance industry because the insurance market is projected to generate gross written premium way in excess of 10 billion cedis in 2024. But this is relatively small compared to some of the peers within the continent. Now, more effort is needed by stakeholders to grow the industry at a rapid but sustainable pace, and obtaining or retaining a skilled actuarial resource is one of the difficulties the insurance sector is faced with. Well, accounting and auditing firm Deloitte has launched a School of Actuarial Excellence, seeking to nurture actuarial skills whilst complementing existing efforts by stakeholders in transforming the country's insurance sector. Here to tell us more, Richard Omari, Associate Director, Assurance at Deloitte Ghana. Thank you for joining us for the marketplace and for the exchange. So, I mean, how important is actuarial science to the insurance and pensions industry?
Thank you very much, Daryl. So, actuarial science is developing a certain skill set who helps in the valuation of insurance liabilities. And so that's what makes it very important to the insurance industry, because the insurers, what they do is they promise people that in the event of something, I'm going to give you X amount. So now the question is, how do I determine the X? And that is why you need an actuary in there.
Yeah, I just want you to break it down a little further for our audience who don't understand how this works, because, I mean, we're dealing with a lot of risks, right?
Yes. So for example, Daryl, if you go and then insure your business, what happens is that the insurance company will tell you that in the event of, let's say, a motor accident, they're going to pay you something. So now the question is, how do we determine that something, that amount? You need an actuarial person to come in there to help you determine that amount, yes.
Yeah, and so you see the need to put focus on that. That's why you started the School of Excellence.
Yes.
Tell us a bit more about it and why it's important in the industry right now.
All right. Okay, so very interesting. Before we came up with the whole idea of this School of Excellence, we have been assisting the insurance industry to implement a particular standard, accounting standard we call the IFRS 17. And in the process, you need a lot of actuarial exercises in there. But we realized that in the country, there were limited actuaries. And so that informed that Deloitte, we come up to develop actuarial skills in the country. So the plan was, okay, then why not establish a school where we can train these actuaries so that they can come out there to assist the insurers in the process. So that's actually what informed the Deloitte Actuarial School of Excellence.
What sort of training are they undergoing?
So yeah, very interesting. So they are going to undergo trainings such as valuation of these insurance liabilities. And then after, they want to also go through trainings on how to price insurance products, etc. So there's quite a vast actuarial trainings, models and techniques that they'll be going through to be able to do all these things, yeah.
Yeah, what was the duration of the training? Who qualifies to be trained?
Yeah, so I would say the duration is in two folds, which is very interesting here. So first, we are going to have a classroom session, which is going to be for 3 months. And then after the 3 months, we are going to get the participants to do internship with Deloitte for another 3 months. So that makes it more exciting because now you have the classroom session and then you now have the practical session of the training. Who qualifies? So we are looking at those in the market already who are already practicing actuarial activities or actuarial science. And we are also targeting student actuaries, i.e. those who have completed their national service and are now looking for jobs. So we want them all to come on board. We will give them the skills and we will deploy them into the industry.
Yeah, and for businesses that, I mean, try to upskill in this area, how is that profitable for their operations?
Yes, a very interesting question, Daryl. You know, the actuarial guys are very expensive. Let me put it here. And so having to outsource your actuarial function on a yearly or a monthly basis can be very expensive for the insurance industry. So it is good if you would have one in-house who can be doing that for you.
So you're saving costs there?
Certainly, in the long term. they're looking at cost savings for their companies. Yeah.
Well, beyond this, what other contributions are you making as far as actuarial science is concerned in the insurance and pensions industry?
All right. So for Deloitte, we have the mantra, purpose beyond profit. So what it means is that we are not just looking at the profits that we are going to make as a company or as a firm. We are looking at what we can do for the society at large. So what we are doing is to say, let's develop the skills, number one. Let's give them to the companies to work with for free. Let me put it. Because they are paying something, but whatever they are paying is very, very minimal. It's just for the, some administrative processes, but literally not much compared to what will be charged in the schools. And yeah, so we're giving that more or less at a token, and then we are coming up with this wide market for actuaries who would be there readily available for the insurance industry and the insurance market for everyone to pick and then you work with.
All right, that's great stuff. And you're working with the National Insurance Commission, I guess, on this.
Yes, the National Insurance Commission has actually bought into it, yeah. And we have the Actuarial Society of Ghana who has also bought into it, yeah.
Great stuff. We don't often have you in studio, so while you're here, just one tip for our audience, something that's helpful for their business?
Yes, so for me, where I come from, I master International Financial Reporting Standards, and that is where I sit. But sometimes people say that those standards are complex and complicated, but when you look at it, the standards help you to prepare what you call fair financial statements or financial reports. So I would advise people to accept those standards and then work with, because it will help in their reporting. And it will also help when they need investors to come into their business at any point in time, because investors out there are looking for how are companies reporting fairly. So that is the little I would say. But then I'd also want to add that everybody must join the Deloitte School of Actuarial Excellence.
All right, Richard Omari, Associate Director, Assurance, Deloitte Ghana. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Marketplace and for the exchange. Grateful. That's our program. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. We'll be back sometime soon.